The Netherlands is a country that seems almost too beautiful to be real. With its iconic windmills silhouetted against vast skies, its endless patchwork of rainbow tulip fields, and its storybook canals lined with gabled houses, this small corner of northwestern Europe has captured the imagination of the world. But the Netherlands is far more than just a postcard destination. It is a nation built on innovation, resilience, and an extraordinary relationship with water that has defined its identity for over 1,000 years. Known to locals as Nederland, meaning the low lands, this remarkable country sits almost entirely at or below sea level. Despite its compact size, roughly comparable to the state of Maryland, the Netherlands punches well above its weight on the global stage. It is the world's second-largest exporter of agricultural products, a powerhouse of international trade, and home to some of the most celebrated artists in human history. To understand how this tiny nation became one of the most prosperous and forward-thinking countries in the world, we must first look at the very ground beneath its feet, or rather, at the water that surrounds it. The geography of the Netherlands is defined by one fundamental truth: it is a country that exists in a constant negotiation with the sea. Nearly a quarter of the country lies below sea level, protected by an elaborate system of dunes, dikes, dams, and storm surge barriers that represent one of the greatest engineering achievements in human history. The coastline stretches for over 450 kilometers along the North Sea, where the Wadden Islands form a protective chain against the ocean's fury. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is one of the world's most important tidal ecosystems, home to seals, migratory birds, and unique marine life. Moving inland, the landscape transforms dramatically. The western provinces of North Holland, South Holland, and Utrecht form the Randstad, a densely populated urban crescent that is the beating economic heart of the nation. Here, the terrain is so flat that the highest natural point, the Valserberg in the southern province of Limburg, reaches a modest 322 meters above sea level, just over 1,000 feet. This extraordinary flatness is the result of the country's geological history as an alluvial plain, gradually built up over millions of years by the sediment deposits of the Rhine, Meuse, and Scheldt rivers. The climate is temperate maritime, which means mild winters and cool summers, with rain distributed throughout the year. But what truly makes Dutch geography remarkable is the human transformation of the land. Over centuries, the Dutch have reclaimed vast areas from the sea through land reclamation projects known as polders. The province of Flevoland, created almost entirely from reclaimed land in the 20th century, stands as a testament to the Dutch mastery over water. This ongoing struggle with the sea has shaped not just the landscape, but the very character of the Dutch people, fostering a spirit of cooperation, pragmatism, and innovation that echoes through their fascinating history. The history of the Netherlands is the story of a people who repeatedly transformed adversity into opportunity. The region was first inhabited by Celtic and Germanic tribes, but it was the arrival of the Romans around 50 BCE that marked the beginning of recorded history. The Rhine River formed the northern frontier of the Roman Empire, and for centuries, the Low Countries served as a borderland between competing powers. The modern Dutch nation traces its roots to the late 16th century, when the northern provinces of the Low Countries rebelled against Spanish rule in what became known as the 80 Years' War. Led by the charismatic William of Orange, known to the Dutch as the Father of the Fatherland, the rebellion culminated in the Union of Utrecht in 1579, which laid the foundation for the Dutch Republic. This new nation was remarkably progressive for its time, developing a decentralized political system that valued religious tolerance and commercial freedom, values that still resonate in Dutch society today. What followed was the Dutch Golden Age, a period during the 17th century when the tiny republic became one of the world's leading economic and cultural powers. Amsterdam transformed into the financial capital of Europe, home to the world's first stock exchange, established in 1602 by the Dutch East India Company. Dutch ships dominated global trade routes, bringing spices from Indonesia, silk from China, and sugar from Brazil to European markets. This unprecedented prosperity funded an extraordinary artistic flowering, producing masters like Rembrandt van Rijn, Johannes Vermeer, and Frans Hals, whose paintings captured both the grandeur and the intimate moments of Dutch life. The 19th century brought the Napoleonic occupation and the brief formation of the Kingdom of Holland under Louis Bonaparte. After Napoleon's defeat, the Netherlands regained independence in 1813 and became a constitutional monarchy under the House of Orange-Nassau, a system that continues to this day. The 20th century tested the nation severely. Despite remaining neutral during the First World War, the Netherlands suffered brutal occupation by Nazi Germany from 1940 to 1945, a period that saw the destruction of Rotterdam and the tragic deportation of more than 100,000 Dutch Jews, including the young and Frank, whose wartime diary became one of the most powerful testimonies of the Holocaust. Out of the ashes of war, the Netherlands emerged with a renewed commitment to international cooperation. It became a founding member of NATO, the European Union, and the United Nations, and today stands as one of the most stable, prosperous, and progressive democracies in the world. This rich historical tapestry has woven itself into a vibrant contemporary culture that is both deeply traditional and boldly forward-looking. Modern Dutch culture is a fascinating blend of liberal values and cherished traditions. The Dutch are known worldwide for their directness in communication, a trait that newcomers often find refreshing, if occasionally startling. This cultural frankness reflects a deeper social value, the belief that honesty and transparency create clarity and trust. Alongside this directness runs a deep commitment to tolerance, a principle that made the Netherlands a refuge for persecuted religious groups for centuries and continues to shape its progressive social policies today. Art and creativity remain central to the Dutch identity. The Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam houses over 8,000 masterpieces spanning 800 years, anchored by Rembrandt's monumental Night Watch, a painting so valuable that its gallery was specially designed around it. The Van Gogh Museum draws millions of visitors each year who come to trace the turbulent genius of one of the most beloved painters in art history. But Dutch culture extends far beyond its museums. The country has a vibrant contemporary music scene, hosting world-class electronic music festivals, including the legendary Amsterdam Dance Event. Perhaps nothing defines daily Dutch life more than the bicycle. The Netherlands is the undisputed cycling capital of the world, with over 35,000 kilometers of dedicated cycle paths crisscrossing the country. In cities like Amsterdam and Utrecht, more than half of all trips are made by bike, supported by massive multi-story bicycle parking garages and an infrastructure that prioritizes cyclists over cars. This cycling culture is not merely about transportation, it reflects a broader Dutch commitment to sustainability, health, and quality of life. Another cherished tradition is King's Day, celebrated every April 27th, when the nation erupts into a sea of orange costumes, street parties, flea markets, and concerts. The color orange honors the Royal House of Orange, a symbol of national unity that dates back to William of Orange himself. For all this vibrancy and celebration, the Netherlands is also a nation of hard-headed pragmatism, and this practical spirit is nowhere more evident than in its remarkably diverse and resilient economy. The Dutch economy is a model of how a small nation can achieve outsized global influence through specialization, innovation, and openness to trade. The port of Rotterdam is the largest seaport in Europe, a gateway that processes over 14 million shipping containers each year and connects the continent to markets around the world. This strategic position has made the Netherlands a logistics and distribution powerhouse, with a transportation and warehousing sector that is among the most advanced in the world. Perhaps even more surprising is the Netherlands' dominance in agriculture. Despite having limited land and the highest population density in Europe after microstates, the country is the world's second-largest agricultural exporter by value, trailing only the United States. This remarkable achievement is powered by an intensive, highly efficient agricultural sector centered on greenhouse technologies, precision farming, and a culture of innovation. The Greenport Venlo region alone hosts over 3,000 greenhouses where every aspect of the growing environment is controlled by sophisticated technology. The knowledge economy is equally strong. The Netherlands is home to world-leading companies in technology, from ASML, which produces the advanced lithography machines essential for manufacturing the world's most sophisticated computer chips, to semiconductor giant NXP and navigation pioneer TomTom. Amsterdam has also emerged as a major hub for fintech and startups, attracting entrepreneurs from across Europe with its excellent digital infrastructure, English-speaking workforce, and favorable business environment. Rounding out the economy is a robust energy sector. While the giant Groningen gas field that powered decades of prosperity is now being phased out due to environmental and seismic concerns, the Netherlands is investing heavily in renewable energy, particularly offshore wind. The country's expertise in water management, honed over centuries of fighting the sea, has itself become a major export, with Dutch engineering firms leading flood protection and land reclamation projects from New Orleans to Jakarta. This deeply practical expertise has its roots in the very land, and the land, in turn, has always fed the people. Dutch cuisine is perhaps one of the country's best-kept secrets, a comforting reflection of a culture that values simplicity, quality, and togetherness. The national breakfast classic is hagelslag, chocolate sprinkles generously scattered over buttered bread, a sweet start to the day that brings out the inner child in everyone. For a mid-morning treat, nothing beats a stroopwafel, a thin waffle cookie sliced in half and filled with a warm, gooey caramel syrup that oozes out with every bite. The best stroopwafels are found fresh at street markets, where the smell alone will draw you in from blocks away. Speaking of street food, the Dutch herring stands are an essential culinary institution. Raw herring is eaten the traditional way by holding the fish by the tail, tilting your head back, and lowering it into your mouth. Served with chopped onions and a pickle on the side, it is a rite of passage for every visitor and a beloved tradition among locals, especially during the early summer when the new season's catch arrives. When winter arrives and temperatures drop, the Dutch turn to Stamppot, the ultimate comfort food. This hearty dish combines mashed potatoes with vegetables like kale, sauerkraut, or carrots, served with a generous slice of smoked sausage and a pool of rich gravy. Another winter classic is erwtensoep, a thick pea soup so dense that a spoon can stand upright in it. For a quick snack to accompany a cold beer in a cozy brown cafe, the Dutch reach for bitterballen, deep-fried crispy balls filled with a creamy beef ragout, dipped in spicy mustard. No discussion of Dutch food would be complete without cheese. Gouda and Edam are names recognized around the world, but the Netherlands produces an incredible variety of cheeses. Visit the cheese market in Alkmaar, where traders in traditional white uniforms still carry massive wheels of cheese on wooden sleds, or explore the markets in Gouda itself, where you can taste everything from young and creamy aged less than a month to intensely sharp varieties matured for several years. This rich culinary identity is closely tied to the country's most iconic places, landmarks that draw millions of visitors every year. The landmarks of the Netherlands are as diverse as the country itself, blending natural beauty, historical significance, and architectural brilliance. Perhaps no view is more quintessentially Dutch than the Windmills of Kinderdijk. This UNESCO World Heritage Site features 19 beautifully preserved windmills built in the 18th century, standing proudly against the flat horizon as they pump water from the low-lying polders. These structures are not merely picturesque, they represent the centuries-long battle that the Dutch have waged and won against water. Amsterdam's Canal Ring, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, tells a different story, one of urban planning genius and mercantile ambition. Built during the Dutch Golden Age, the concentric canals are lined with elegant canal houses, each with its distinctive gabled facade, tall narrow windows, and the famous pulley hooks still used for hoisting furniture to upper floors. A boat tour through these canals, passing under historic bridges and alongside houseboats decorated with flowers, is the definitive Amsterdam experience. For art lovers, the Museumplein, or Museum Square, is a cultural pilgrimage site. It brings together the Rijksmuseum, the Van Gogh Museum, and the Stedelijk Museum of Modern Art, all within a single public square. But Amsterdam also holds places of profound reflection, such as the Anne Frank House, where visitors walk through the hidden annex where the young diarist and her family hid for over 2 years, emerging into the light with a deeper understanding of humanity's capacity for both cruelty and courage. No visit in springtime would be complete without standing before the spectacular tulip fields of Keukenhof, the Garden of Europe. Spanning 32 hectares, this park showcases over 7 million flower bulbs in breathtaking patterns of color that seem to stretch to the horizon. The tulip, originally imported from the Ottoman Empire, has become the national symbol of the Netherlands, celebrated in the world-famous Bloem en Corso flower parade that winds its way through the Dutch countryside each April. With so much beauty, history, and culture packed into such a compact country, the question is not whether to visit, but when. So why should you visit the Netherlands? Because it is a country that perfectly blends old-world charm with cutting-edge innovation. Ride a bicycle through Amsterdam's Jordaan neighborhood, where cobblestone streets and hidden courtyard gardens transport you to another century. Then venture to Rotterdam, a city that was virtually rebuilt from scratch after the war and now stands as a laboratory of bold modern architecture, from the iconic cube houses to the soaring Erasmus Bridge. The contrast between these two cities, just an hour apart by train, encapsulates a nation that honors its past while racing toward its future. The Netherlands invites you to explore at your own pace, whether that means wandering through the medieval streets of Utrecht, sipping coffee beside the ancient canals of Delft, or standing before Vermeer's girl with a pearl earring in the Hague's Mauritshuis Museum. It is incredibly easy to travel here, with one of the best public transportation systems in Europe and English spoken fluently by virtually everyone you meet. More than its sights and experiences, however, the Netherlands leaves you with a feeling, a sense that a society can be prosperous without being ostentatious, progressive without losing its soul, and deeply rooted in tradition while embracing the new. Thank you so much for watching this country documentary on TrendLens. If you enjoyed exploring the fascinating world of the Netherlands, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world's most remarkable destinations. Do not forget to enable notifications so you never miss an episode. We would love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment.